Hello, this is the Political Matrix. I am your host, one of the co-hosts, Marcus Cage, other known as Young Morpheus, here with my other co-host L. Latham and a special guest and friend, founder and creator of Slow News Day, one of the members and family of the Mikasa Sukasa Network, Mr. Steve Poikonen. And so glad to have you here, brother. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me back. How's it going? How are you guys?
Good. How about you, El? How are we doing tonight, El?
Doing all right, feeling all right. Got a hot weekend, so just staying inside as much as possible.
Oh yeah, super with the Super Bowl weekend shit going on.
Wasn't even talking about that, just the heat. Just the heat
Uh,
is annoying.
Oh
I've been
yeah, Jones will be at SoFi tomorrow.
ugh.
She's
Glory.
going.
Cool.
She's going down with the camera and maybe a bullhorn.
Well, I mean, it was a good opportunity to kind of get the word out. Got a lot of people there, so hey, I'm not knocking it. And for those still tuning in, E is having some technical difficulties, so he might be in a little bit later. He might not. Cy Lawson should be in, but we have a interesting show to talk about. Of course, we have some of the stuff which, well, we'll say rhetoric heating up with the Russia-Ukraine issues. I wanted to talk a little bit about the no-knock warrant that happened with Amir Locke, him being killed by the police, and then of course they always say, "Oh, well, he was pointing a gun our direction," and turns out that no, he wasn't pointing a gun in the direction. So we're going to go into that a little bit. Um, want to talk about, and part of why I have Steve here, we want to talk about the trucker convoy and how do I say it? How the boutique left. I think I titled it in the description. How the boutique left is handling it or smearing it, I would say. And I heard Steve some of his commentary on it, and I would love to hear him weigh in. And then in dealing with a couple of these people on the boutique left, I tried to deal in what I felt was being respectful, um, respectfully disagreeing, of course, but try to be respectful with a couple of people where I've followed them for quite a bit of time. I'm not going to say I've been up with everything they've had going on, but I try to have a little bit of a. You can feel that way, as long as we're not, going at each other's throat. Yeah, we still follow each other, no biggie. But trying to reach out to them, one of them being Pat the Berner, uh, completely ignored me, of course, on this topic. And then kind of talked a little bit of trash to some friends of mine. So I tried to reach out, deal, in good faith. Got nowhere there. His co host, which I'm not going to mention the name of their show. If you guys want to look for it, you can. The thumbnail should show you what we consider it. But I tried to go on, reason a little bit with her. She started off kind of trying to defend herself and her actions, which we'll go more into it. And I came back with a couple of responses, which she didn't have answers for. So I decided, you know what? Let me send a little message. We can at least try to debate this, be adults about it. I could try to reason with them on some things I think that they're not seeing, But they decided to blow me off and ignore me instead. So Steve put out a little funny tweet, which we'll go into a little bit later. And so that's how we got here to all of this now. So Steve is a troublemaker. Blame it all on him.
I'm not sorry now for anything that I ever have tweeted, nor am I ever going to be sorry for anything that I will tweet. So, um, so yeah. Yeah. But look, am I starting with my whole take on the mandates or the
Oh, that's right. We got the
Skinny Jeans left's critique of the mandates? Like, how do you want me to open here,
I
man?
figure we'll let Elle start because I know this is giving her a lot of joy to be able to report this. So I figure Elle
Okay.
will get us started on the mask mandates and the rolling back of that. So I figured that would be a little bit of fun. Hello everybody out in the chat. I see we got Kelly as usual, one of our good friends. BJL for some reason is talking about being ignored as usual. Got Signs over there. How we doing, Signs? Glad to see you. And Baba Yaga, Prepper. Glad to see you here also. And my Ras Mama, I like the name. Oh, got a couple of different names. Oh, well, Comrade Karini, haven't saw you in a while. Glad to have you back. But let's go on ahead, Elle, and let's get into that story.
Yeah, just like I said last week, like mass formation, you might say. A bunch of states, mainly, what is considered left, which is not really true, but democratic states or whatever, got to set a timeline or just straight up lifted the mask mandates statewide. There are localities like LA, for instance, and Orange County and whatnot that in California that kind of have their own rules and are lifting it whenever they feel like it. And according to the LA Department of Health chick, Barbara Ferrer, whom I mistakenly said California Department of Health last week, so I'm gonna fact check
sorry,
myself.
Myra's mama. Sorry, got that now. Go ahead, Elle.
So she had stated these ridiculous benchmarks for where we needed to be, like hospitalization-wise, case-wise, in LA County in order to have the mask mandates lifted, which may or may not happen. And one of them happened to be the under 5 vaccine would be, released. And then 2 weeks later, I believe, was like the benchmark that they would maybe lift the mandates. But now that's not happening. So they'll have to go with the first one, which is like a set number of cases or whatever over a certain period of time. So they're being stupid right now. Like, anyone takes them seriously after the football game and the masks being off most of the time from a lot of people, not just the mayor and Magic and, the other guy, the governor. But they don't even do it. So why the fuck should we is how a lot of people, I'm sure, see it. That's how I see it.
Well, I mean,
so it's already done for me. It's a done deal.
Well, I agree with that. What's your? I guess we'll go on ahead. Steve, what's your take on that? Oh, you're on mute.
I missed about the last 45 seconds of that. I had somebody screaming at me. Telephone. That I actually needed to do is my kid was hollering at me, so
no worries.
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not. My dog ate my homework.
No worries. It was more. I was going into kind of the hypocrisy that's been going on with like a lot of the elected leaders, especially in that last Rams game. How a lot of them were caught unmasked. We got E in the show. How we doing, brother E? How we doing, Misha?
But no, this has been the pattern the entire time. Rules for thee and not for me.
Hey,
We've seen it from the beginning of lockdown. We saw it every time that Nancy Pelosi went and got her hair did. Gavin Newsom was at the French Laundry. There were people, New York politicians got to walk around without their masks on. As soon as the cameras went off, everybody ripping their mask off. And AOC did the damn photo op back in January. Like, this has been happening, the whole Met Gala thing where she doesn't have a mask on, but the freaking servant carrying the train of her dress does. Yeah, man. What's her name? Stacey Abrams. Masked up in the classroom, all the kids masked up. This is the message. This is what be the tone that they're trying to set, the thing they want to sink in. We, the ruling class, do have a different set of rules, and we are allowed to operate under a different set of standards, whereas you peasants wear the fucking face diaper when we tell you to, or else.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And especially, it's kind of funny, like the whole, Stacey Abrams also just recently, being the latest one to kind of catch a lot of backlash to it. I mean, if it wasn't for all of these, I guess what would we say? Well, high profile individuals. Public figures. There we go. Well, I figured because, like, I know Leonardo DiCaprio, he was one of the people who was caught too with his mask like hanging down like the whole damn game. And what I've heard also is reports inside of SoFi Stadium, like nobody's wearing the mask, even though SoFi,
there was like a camera too.
Yeah, SoFi Stadium has a mask mandate itself outside of just the county. Hey, Atris, glad to see you in here, brother. But yeah, and then so what? It starts off with, I'm not sure which state started it first, but everybody's been rolling it back. And honestly, it's kind of ironic that Steve is here. When we had that so-called New Year's Eve show, one of my predictions was that we'll start watching a lot of these regulations start rolling back. And if you hear what's her name, Lena Wynn, and all of these other Biden officials, they're all saying, well, the numbers have been changing. The numbers have been changing. And so, we're following what the numbers have went with. And I'm nothing's really changed. You guys are just reporting different shit.
Did you see how she was like on CNN and she was saying, oh, but we shouldn't look at the case rate anymore. We should look at the hospitalization.
She did a complete 180 from every single tune that she had been singing for nearly 2 years on a dime. Yep. Man, on a dime. Came out and was like, yeah, all that shit that I said, yeah, don't listen to any of that. Listen to this.
Just scratch all of that. Just mind wipe it from your memory.
I mean, remember, we talked about that this was going to happen. And I said they're getting killed on the numbers as far as all of these mandates. And they are going to roll them back. And this is all politics. We see Jack in the building. Hey, Jack.
What's up, Jack?
To underscore this point, though, Ron DeSantis was the guy who came out and said, well, the science on this didn't change. The politics changed on. And that was, and for somebody who's obviously throwing their well-oiled hat into the presidential ring in 2024, for him to be the guy saying that, it doesn't land as hard as it should, but he's absolutely correct. We know that. We've been saying that the whole time. It's just one of those things where when you find, like, there's somebody that comes out and says it, and then it's a headline in the mainstream space, and people have the opportunity to look at it and maybe not attach so many politics to it because they've kind of seen what's going on for the last couple of years. If they haven't put it together in that framing, they could be like, oh yeah, no, that's right.
Nice. Words of Will. He says cloth masks were all over the CDC website. It was all you were supposed to wear. Now they don't work all of a sudden. Well, if you go back, remember Fauci at first, before he started getting on this mask kick, one of the first things he was saying is that we don't need masks. The masks don't work. And he said that
early in 2019, May 2019, in an interview with
I
David
actually
Rubenstein.
have that I have that if you want
I
to
gave
share
that
it.
to all of
Oh,
you.
I would love to share that, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It said
They're hypocrites for
2310.
cash. That's all it was. I mean, the cash isn't coming, and now they just need to drop.
oh, I can't actually stick the video
I
itself.
can.
with it. Or wait, no, I can. You just have to pull it up.
Yeah, just pull it up and then I'll share it.
Yeah, the
I
money's
tweeted
not.
it out.
The money's dried up. The money's not coming. They're done with the grift. It's over.
I was gonna say, Jack, if you wanted to hop in here too, let me know and I'll send you over the link. But I'm glad to see Will in here. He's one of our followers on Twitter, and he's been really fighting that fight with us. So good to see him in here. But
Oh, you downloaded it. Smart.
smart man, yeah, because he knew they're probably gonna delete that shit eventually.
They haven't yet. A lot of people are in the comments. They haven't even turned off the comments, which is pretty crazy. On the YouTube video.
And the best way for me to prevent getting an infectious disease and having to have you as my doctor is what? Wearing a mask. No. You do that. If somebody, I can see they're ready to sneeze or cough, walk away.
You avoid all the paranoid aspects and do something positive. A good diet.
I gotta stop it there for a minute because I didn't know you don't put on a mask. Don't be paranoid. You don't do that. You use your head, you dumb. Come on, dingbat.
I love that part.
Mask. With you, what are you stupid over there with your mask? Who you think this is, Fauci? Who you talking to? I'm science over here.
B, you don't smoke, I know. I know you don't drink, at least not very much, so that's pretty good. Get some exercise. I know that you don't get as much exercise as you should.
That's correct.
Get good sleep. I think that the normal, low-tech, healthy things are the best thing that you can do, David, to stay
All right.
healthy.
Well, I'm going to try to do that, and hopefully, when I next see you, I will be even healthier than I am today.
Okay. So who wants to start the this motherfucker first?
Go on. I know L wants to. Go on ahead, L.
I mean, I'm Fauci, I'm in the, I think I can't do a Fauci, but I won a Nobel Prize. I know I'm the stupid one in the group, but please give me a Nobel Prize. He says that in this video. He says, everybody I know has a Nobel Prize. And then David's like, why haven't you gotten a Nobel Prize? And he's like, I don't know. I'm the stupid one in the group, he says. And I'm like, yes, I agree. Yes. And then at one point he asked him if he's going to get into investing and that why hasn't he gotten into the healthcare industry in that way? And then he's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I love what I do. And I'm like, well, he did. He did though later. He definitely did, allegedly. But now he's making, money everywhere. So, he's picked the right team for now until, the under 5 vaccine didn't really go as planned, and now the FDA is delaying the meeting on that because Pfizer didn't submit enough data. Apparently, that matters now. So
They lost it.
No.
They can't find it.
No.
I'm glad you brought that up because somebody asked that question earlier.
Yeah, there was a glitch. There's just something. There a bunch of different third-party trial or whatever project fucking but a bunch of like the subcontractors for Pfizer that they go through, they don't have a bunch of the data now. Haven't for a couple of months.
But they didn't have any long-term data for anything until 2020.
Well, no, I mean the actual like trial data.
No, I know, but like they were still ongoing with the trials in the first place. So now data seems to be an issue when it wasn't really an issue before. They only had 6 months of data in the first place for the first go round.
Right.
Which was fine. That was fine with FDA. They were totally cool with that. But now there's an issue because it's children and they just can't fuck up, that whole thing.
Well, who's going next?
Parents will be on their ass.
Is it Steve? Is it Marcus? I mean, who's going next?
I want to hear what you got to say. E. Hop in there.
Well, I see what's happening to all his other little buddies and all his other little friends. They seem to be having all these accidents, or they seem to be healthy and they seem to be keeling over. So I'm not threatening him or anything. I want to put that out as a preface, but I see one of those accidents happening to him very, very soon, and they'll do a little memorial, and they'll give him a posthumous award or something like that. They want to make it go away. They want COVID to go away so that they can push the war. Right, the 500 million's already, they're trying to get that set up so that China is the bad guy. So I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for his accent to come. Maybe he'll be walking down the street, he'll keel over or something.
Oh, you didn't. He's not going to go anywhere. What's going to happen is he is going to walk away silently. He's going to walk away quietly into the sunset as the victor, as like they hold him up on his shoulder like Michael J. Fox and fucking Teen Wolf. That's what's going to happen. They're going to say, Fauci solved it all. He fixed it. Now he can retire with grace. And
No.
You don't think he's going to take? You don't think he's going to take the smart off ramp?
Neither of these things is going to happen. Do you know what's
You think
gonna
he's
happen,
really
gentlemen?
he's going to be
And
dumb enough to
you know
stay
what's
around?
gonna happen? Here's what's going to happen. Fauci is going to get dragged through. He's going to get the Benghazi treatment when the Republicans claim the House in midterms and the Senate in midterms, because the Democrats are going to just get obliterated in the midterms. And so Fauci is going to become the Mueller investigation. And Rand Paul is going to lead whatever, or have fucking what's his nuts, Ted Cruz or whoever's a judiciary, lead an investigation into Anthony Fauci and the NIH and gain of function research, but only limited to Wuhan, never once mentioning Fort Detrick or any of that. None of that. And that will consume the next 2 years leading up to the 2024 elections while inflation rages out of control. We are not going to war with Ukraine or with Russia. We are not a hot war. That's not going to happen. No. What I retweeted Sergei Lazarov earlier today, and he said, so drills at the border are over. Tanks going back to barracks many miles into Russian interior. American diplomats will say, we win. Russians retreat. We are done practicing. We are going to practice again. It's like that's it, but it'll give the United States the cover to be like, our tough talk worked, and look, the Russians pulled back. Our work here's done.
I saw that tweet.
For now.
It's funny while you bring that up, I got a clip I would like to share.
I saw that tweet. That tweet killed me.
I got a clip I would like to share while you bring that up.
Oh, is this Putin at the podium in France with the torch? Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, you knew where I was going. I was like, and I think the same thing too. What they're going to do is they're going to throw out sanctions on a handful of billionaires like they normally do, and that's about as far as they're going with this. All right, let's get. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. I was watching it earlier. Let's get into the fun.
Простой вопрос. Собираетесь ли вы вторгаться в Украину?
Я говорил вот здесь, вот на этом месте, несколько дней назад, на пресс-конференции после нашего диалога с премьер-министром Венгрии. Я хочу еще раз повторить эту логику. Мы категорически против расширения НАТО за счет новых членов на Востоке. потому что это, представляет для нас общую угрозу дальнейшее распространение НАТО к нашим границам. Не мы же двигаемся к НАТО, а НАТО двигается к нам. Поэтому говорить о том, что Россия ведет себя агрессивно, по меньшей мере не соответствует здравой логике. Мы, что ли, пришли на границу куда-то? К нам же подошла инфраструктура НАТО. Вот это первое. Второе. Почему так опасно возможное принятие Украины? Но есть же проблемы. Вот европейские страны, в том числе Франция, считают, что Крым, допустим, является частью Украины. А мы считаем, что это часть Российской Федерации. И если будут предприняты попытки изменить эту ситуацию военным путем, а в доктринальных документах Украины прописано, что Россия противник, и возможно возвращение Крыма военным путем, представьте, что Украина член НАТО. 5-я статья не отменена. Наоборот, господин Байден, президент Соединенных Штатов, недавно сказал, что 5-я статья – это абсолютно императив и будет исполнен. Значит, возникнет военная конфронтация между Россией и НАТО. Я спросил на пресс-конференции в прошлый раз, нам что, воевать с НАТО? Но я хочу и вас спросить, есть же вторая часть этого вопроса. А вы хотите воевать с Россией? Вы спросите своих читателей, зрителей, пользователей интернет-ресурсами. Вы хотите, чтобы Франция воевала с Россией? Но ведь так оно и будет. Наша обеспокоенность продиктована и вопросами, связанными с общей европейской безопасностью.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, fellas? What's going on, Al?
Fauci. I'm Fauci.
I see you just played my boy. I see you just played my boy Vladimir. You know, just
Yeah,
he didn't even say anything. He didn't even say anything too bad in this video. He just said, "Look, look. If shit goes down, we're gonna blow this shit up, and there's not gonna be much left of anything." So
He's playing his role.
the ball is in your court. You push button, I push button.
Just a bunch of button pushers, back and forth.
Maybe my technology little bit better than your technology. Maybe Russian technology little bit newer.
He knows about the fourth industrial revolution.
It's true. It actually is true that the technology is a little bit better because they're getting their weapons technology from China, which the U.S. has already admitted.
Which is getting their weapons technology from Israel.
Yeah, that adds a whole nother wrinkle to it. And have you heard lately who's been popping off at the mouth lately? Our favorite bad guy, right on cue, North Korea is back at it again.
So is Juan Guaido.
He lost some weight. He looks pretty decent.
Hey man, he's working out. He's ready for the fight now.
Svelte. He is svelte.
He will survive the
Saw Rocky too,
coronavirus.
and he got a little inspired. What's it?
What he did is he saw all them fucking memes of Xi and Winnie the Pooh and went, "Not this time, motherfucker."
He did like a lot of people should do, is try to get healthy while they're in a pandemic, if there is a pandemic, allegedly.
Well, all of our leaders, I'll say, majority of our leaders are saying we're in an endemic now. So technically now we can say we're not in a pandemic and should be okay.
Or a state of emergency, for that matter, where there's a Super Bowl.
Right.
Which, according to liberals, this would have been a super spreader event, correct?
A Super Bowl spreader, yeah.
Yeah, there's no emergency and there's no pandemic if you're holding the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
a joke.
The Olympics are
And
going
you didn't.
on. Yeah,
Right,
sure.
and you know what?
Winter Olympics are happening.
And you didn't.
Yeah,
Sure.
with lockdowns everywhere in Beijing.
Sure, but the freaking
And you didn't
Olympics
see-
are going on.
Mhm.
and you didn't see anybody from California who normally bitches and complains about everything. They're not
Yep,
bitching and complaining at all about hosting the Super Bowl.
exactly.
They're all
They're
welcoming.
proud of it.
They're
And
rolling out red
happy
carpet.
and
They're allowing these
See
ready.
that Snoop
events.
Dogg.
But I mean, the sheep just have to be told when to be
Mhm.
outraged and when not to be. So they weren't
Yeah.
told to be outraged over the Super Bowl and that gathering of those, just few dozens of people, right? Just
Dude,
just maybe like 20, 30 people, not too many.
I almost forgot, and I definitely forgot that it was the fucking
Can you
Bengals.
hear Steve?
Yeah,
I can hear him.
Steve,
I
I
can
can't hear you.
Oh,
Chris
no.
is going deaf.
That's not
I didn't
fun.
hear. No, dude, I flat the fuck out. Forgot who was playing. Like that's how little of a fuck I gave about it at all.
I didn't even know it was even happening. I didn't even know it was even happening tomorrow
I
until
checked
like
out of football
2 days
years
ago.
ago.
Well, I mean, I
Really
think
did.
this shit is rigged. So I mean, that's a whole
Olympics
nother
too.
thing.
I didn't even realize the Olympics were happening until
I'm gonna.
Well,
we're
they're
not-
keeping it quiet.
Oh yeah, and that's a good point. Myra's mom. Olympics viewership is way down. Also, NBC is taking it in the pants right now. So that's something also that's noticeable. I mean, it should have been the game should have been up a little bit when, and not that I'm against the protesting and marching, but when the George Floyd thing went down, it was right in the middle of the pandemic. Did we forget that? And everybody was like, well, fuck that.
Yeah, there were super spreader events all the time.
Man, I'm gonna say it. The Olympics were better when the Soviet Union existed, and we had like the whole of communism as the enemy. Like the Olympics felt like maybe that was the propaganda route, but
Yeah,
like
that's
you
the
gave
point.
a fuck a little bit more. And then afterwards, there was that whole like, oh, okay, well, snowboarding's a thing now, and like, which is cool because the Olympic International Committee had to admit that cannabis either needs to be considered a performance enhancing drug or not count on your drug test for your snowboard run.
Yeah, but if you're a track and field runner, it still counts.
Right. Well, if you're a track and field runner, it still counts.
Because I'm sorry, this is one of those things I can't prove it, but I believe it's real. I don't think the Jamaican team is passing. I'm just sorry. I don't think they're passing your analysis. I think it's all a scam.
Speaking of scams, can we circle back to Klaus Schwab?
Woman, you in this circling back. You know how hard it is to clip any of these videos because they just are like a zig all over the place. Okay, go back to Klaus Schwab.
Well, because you were talking about Russia for a while, and Russia is a part of the World Economic Forum family, and apparently Putin is one of the young global leaders that he picked, that Schwab picked. And he had a whole conference about it with David Gergen, who is also
at this point, who isn't one?
a member of the Bohemian Grove. And then, so they talked in 2017, and I watched the whole fucking speech. Help me, please. But I did today, and he talked about the fourth industrial revolution and stuff, and like the future and what to expect digitally, and talked about blockchain, which was an interesting exchange as well. So I'll put it in the chat for you guys, so you guys can watch it at your leisure when you have an hour to, kill your mind.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's great for Cincinnati. I'm not knocking anybody for it. I just flat the fuck out forgot. But since we're here, I do hope I do hope that Joey B does do the thing. I hope that Cincinnati gets the a hoisted Lombardi. I do. And for that, I grew up in Indiana. And, for the first several years of my life, we didn't have a football team. So I was a Steelers fan because honestly, who the fuck would be a Bengals fan? I was just fucking with you. Congratulations. It's not like the team that I used to root for is the Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck. But no, I mean, it's got, if it helps Cincinnati, it helps me. It does.
I'll say I do got one gripe against Cincinnati.
I got love for Cincinnati. Huh?
I got one gripe against them though. That chili.
Skyline?
I heard
knocking Skyline?
I'm sorry, cinnamon and chili. No, I'm not with that. I don't know what the hell they got going on up there. That's some nonsense.
Hey, look, man, just because you have the palate of a Neanderthal doesn't mean that a city can't have its own unique take on chili.
Unique is fine, but cinnamon is like, unless it's a cinnamon roll, I don't want cinnamon on nothing.
Bro, it's open at 2 a.m.
Oh.
Like, that's honestly all you need to know about it. It's open after the bars. That's why it's the most popular chili establishment in Cincinnati and why it like spiraled out. It's not because you actually pull up at like 11 a.m. like, ooh, man, I could go for a bowl. Like,
you gotta be drunk as hell. You know what? Since we brought up Cincinnati, I'm gonna give you my theory. Vegas will make a killing if Cincinnati wins. Well, they're gonna make a killing either way, but I just think the whole 31 years they hadn't won it. You got Ben Roethlisberger retiring. You got Brady retiring. It's time. They need another superstar.
Okay, but Cincinnati doesn't win. And Cincinnati doesn't win. They come back in 2 years when it's their 33rd year. And sonically, then they win the Super Bowl. But they don't win this year. But they do in 2 years. That's my prediction.
I mean, it's possible. I think they're trying to build. Whether they win or not, I think they're trying to build Joe Burrow's name up because they need another superstar. Right now, you also got Rodgers, where politically they're not feeling Rodgers right now, so they need another superstar, and everybody likes Joey Burrow, so that's where I think they're going. Hey, Lucky, glad to see you in.
Aaron Rodgers pissed so many people off.
Aaron Rodgers looks like Hunter Biden.
Aaron Rodgers, did you hear Sleepy?
When are you gonna come on, Sleepy?
He's like outside through the open window. Fucking, that's how good this mic is, apparently. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers does kind of look like Hunter Biden. If you took the crack out of Hunter Biden and like gave him a personal trainer, if you got him off the drugs and the adrenochrome and the relatives, like if you pulled Hunter out of his niece and got him on a treadmill. Like no, I can see it, man. I didn't. That's a good observation there, Sleepy.
Oh wow, I can't believe you just said that. Pull him out of his knees. Okay. I don't even know how to respond to that. Chris, you're another sports fan. What is your take?
I'm rolling with not that I care, but just for the sake of picking a winner and a loser, I'm gonna go with LA to win in LA and I see it's gonna be a 3-point game.
Well, that's what Vegas is saying.
3-point game.
If it's within 3 points, Vegas is going to. If it's 3 points or less, Vegas is going to make a shitload.
Yeah, I see it. It's going to be a 3-point game. They're going to want to keep it close. They don't want a blowout. But really, tomorrow, all I've heard all week is people getting ready for the halftime show. So it seems as if there's like a 20-minute concert interrupted by a football game. Because I think that's going to be the highlight of the entire evening is going to be this halftime show. I've never seen a halftime show get so hyped up, ever.
Well, you got to look at why. Who was putting on the halftime shows now?
The Illuminati. I mean, but no, really,
Rock Nation,
really,
literally
like, fucked up. Like I'm joking, but I'm not even joking. It's just
literally a man who throws up the diamond. Literally a man that throws up the diamond.
Couple of them.
Yes, Jay-Z is the one who's putting together all this stuff, and we all know about Jay-Z. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know about all the audience. Hopefully, everybody knows. But we won't go into that.
But no,
Rock
I mean,
Nation is
every Super Bowl halftime show, they're like designed to trigger Alex Jones. Every single one of them. There's like a team of pansexual Hollywood elites that sit around the table going like, how do we summon demons in the middle of the game? And they're trying to figure this out. Meanwhile, Alex Jones is sitting at home on his couch watching it. Dude, I'm in a group chat where there's a drinking game for the Super Bowl based around the satanic inferences that are going to appear during the halftime show. And there's like a list of 30 based on the previous 5 years. Right? I'm not even kidding. It's elaborate. The amount of thought that went into this drinking game is disturbing, y'all. It is. But no, an Illuminati halftime show. Jay-Z, Rockefeller.
It's like I can hear Alex Jones in my head talking about, God damn it, you see the Illuminati? They're doing it. They're coming at us again. You see it last time they did it with Beyonce. Now they got Dr. Dre and they got Eminem out there. I mean, I can just see it right now. This dude's spazzing the fuck out and having a heart attack. Let's say I've never seen a halftime show even miss the Janet Jackson nipple.
Have you seen Eminem lately? Do you remember what Britney Spears, what Kevin Federline looked like the first year that they were together? When K-Fed had the little like fake beard painted on? That's what Eminem kind of looks like now.
Yes, I've seen him, and it's not. Eminem looks like an out-of-work trucker right now.
He looks like he's selling real estate in the metaverse.
I mean, well, the fact that they're putting so much pomp and circumstance into everything being LA, man, if they lose this shit, you're going to have a city that's going to go fucking nuts.
They win, it'll still happen that way, too. Probably.
That's the reason why I'm like, I don't know if they're going to give it a Cincinnati.
Well, if you want to talk about weird stuff, well, not even weird, but sticking with like, Illuminati, demonic shit. Look at that. The baby got into a fight this week. His dumbass in a bowling alley. And then,
dude, that response video was hectic. You shaking your head. You that shit was hectic, dude.
And then you had the party, some other party where Kodak Black just got shot. So
that's what happened. I heard news about him, but I didn't know what happened. Yeah. Is he alive?
No, he's fine. He's okay. He's not dead, but you just see all the nasty shit happening out in LA right around this. Just like all the award shows, bad shit happens. The spirits are in the air, man. They got to get their piece. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently so. Say trucks are on the ground with Hill to shut it down. I like that. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, Matt Marks. It's glad to see you in here. But But what was the next topic that I wanted to get us on to? What do I have? Oh shoot, I didn't even do our damn intro. You know what? Let me throw that up there real quick, even though it's 45 minutes into the show.
45 in, right?
Oh well, screw it. Show the shit anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's I seen a comment there asking if Dr. Dre is producing the halftime show.
Yes.
I mean, he's one of the guests. The Rock Nation is producing it, aka Jay-Z and his company. But I don't know if Dr. Dre is coordinating everyone's time. You know what I'm saying? But him, M, and Snoop, clearly they're gonna work together to some capacity. So yeah, Dre will have some artistic control over that part of it. But that's about it.
I forgot. Yeah, let me throw that intro up. Well, I was slacking, but whatever. We're having a fun show any damn way. Sorry about this. I'm the big slacker here. Blame it on me.
You were here because you have a question that you need an answer to. Thanks for joining me.
Modern free racing as we see it.
Negative shit to say about Trump, and then you get caught.
What happened for the next couple of centuries?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like the cool game, man. We also want to see it.
All righty, had to get that out of the way. I need to remember to start doing it at the beginning of the damn shows, but you know me, I'm a hot mess over here. Let's see. I see Tina and Shadow in the building. Hey, how are we doing? Here Goes is also here. Glad to see you all. Any more thoughts on the Super Bowl before we move on?
Fuck it. Don't go down to SoFi unless you want to videotape a Fed trap with the whole like fake trucker convoy thing. The Department of Homeland Security issued a threat alert for the immediate area around SoFi Stadium for a trucker protest. And then in the memo are like, to the best of our ability, or to the best of our information, there is no protest, nor is there anything scheduled, nor has anyone announced one or organizing it. We're just announcing that it's going to happen, and we're putting the whole area on high alert. And then like an hour later, people are like, hey, did you hear there's going to be a protest of the truckers and the SoFi?
Nope, I haven't really heard much, But I only learned from you and Glory. You and Glory like wake me up to a lot of stuff. You guys know I be in my own
there
zone.
were a fuck ton of Telegram channels that either got yanked or had like a whole bunch of people outed as informants over the last week. This whole convoy thing has just accelerated, or at least showcased, all the different ways the state can fuck you.
Well, I figure since we're already on the convoy, why? I mean, what better segue than to go on ahead and start talking about the Canadian truckers and the convoy up there. And all the drama that's been going on. I'm pretty sure he was asking me like, what the heck is going on? I don't even know about the beef that's going on. So I guess, Steve, could you start it out? Because when I got first involved into this beef or drama, it's when I noticed Franco and Fiorella kind of going at it with Pat the Berner. That's when I got involved in it. It seems like you were a little involved before I was.
So I mean, this is ongoing from the moment the trucker convoy was organized and it was announced. There were a bunch of the U.S. left that, by dint of their brand and nothing more, have to view everything through a very specific partisan lens. So what they saw was truck drivers, Canada against Trudeau, against mandates. So they said, obviously, these are right wingers. To the person, clearly, this is a whites only event. We looked at the GoFundMe, and out of the $9 million raised, it turns out that $250,000 of it was from one right winger in, I believe, Texas that we don't like. So obviously, the whole thing is a right wing operation.
Well, but Steve, what you're missing is like one of the organizers on the ground. He said a lot of racist stuff.
Okay. What does that have to do with this being a protest to stop mandates for workers in Canada? Like, and that's the thing that they're missing. So there's a couple other things that are being convoluted. And look, man, I'm not here to condone anybody's racism. That's bullshit. You guys know me.
Yeah,
but I mean that doesn't, him being a shitbird on camera doesn't detract from the overall point.
Of course, you know that was sarcasm.
No. They sent. I mean, and they sent people in with a Nazi.
No, I'm talking about for me, that was sarcasm. Like I really give a shit about one person involved in it saying some racist shit.
They sent a dude in with a Nazi flag. They sent a dude in with a Confederate flag. Those are the only pictures that you see. You only see the same image, still image of each thing over and over and over again, sometimes from different angles, so it looks like there was more than one, but it's only one of each. Both of them got chased out. Out there every day.
See, you miss what they were showing.
Everybody. Huh?
You miss what they were sharing. They were sharing one of the organizers who they claim, well, not claim, he was saying some racist stuff. But I'm like, I don't care if 4 out of 5 of the organizers said racist stuff. Does that make everybody out there fighting against the mandates on some secret right wing? Well,
okay, so let's take a look at this for a minute, because there's a couple of things that are going on that are particularly stupid, and you have to Tom and Jerry a mallet into your head to get dumb enough for this to make sense. But I'm going to try to explain it anyway. There are people going back for weeks now, and this is what Pat picked up on, that have said that because some of the people who are participating in the caravan, the truck drivers who drove there, own and operate their trucks, they're like damn near oligarchs and are part of the ruling class, or at least the petite bourgeoisie. I'm not kidding. That's a real position that people are taking. That essentially, if you are an Uber driver and you own your vehicle, you are somehow a part of the ruling class. And that even though you're the one maintaining all of your shit, no matter how hard you're struggling, you are somehow automatically like above the grade of worker that makes it allowable for you to protest, I think is the point they're trying to make. They're also saying, with a straight face, that a protest against the neoliberal government of Justin Trudeau, big tech, big pharma, the World Economic Forum, essentially the US, that protesting against these things is somehow fascist or somehow like right wing. That's really the argument.
Yeah, I literally heard Leila make the argument that these right-wing billionaires are keeping people out of work to get people back into work. I was like, huh? How the fuck does that make any damn sense at all?
Well, these are people who think that if you
Wait, that's how this started?
go,
okay, you're explaining it. Thank you. It was
by default, if people go back to work, capitalism wins.
Yeah. That's the main overall urgent argument that they made. That and that this is going to lead to some kind of Tea Party type movement.
It may if they continue to politicize the fuck out of it and force this to be a right-wing thing. This is what is so ridiculous. And maybe, man, look, dude, on the show this week, it was being rightfully pointed out that the overwhelming majority of Black people do not want mandates, do not want forced injections. And the reason that these keep getting classified as right-wing only, alt-right, white nationalist things is because the majority community that doesn't want this doesn't show up at the fucking anti-mandate protests to be like, hey, we're out here too. No, it's not hyper-politicized. We're really all not on board with this bullshit. Let's put a stop to it. That's a big part of it. Another big part of it is the fucking white idiot liberals. They want it to be hyper politicized. They don't want any sort of fucking unity on this. They don't want the majority community affected by it and the majority population demographically united on an issue because that exposes them for the complete and total fucking frauds that they are. And the progressives know this, but they're the shit libs in training wheels. They're just as fucking racist. They're just as fucking quick to snap on anybody of color when it gets them their advantage. Look, fucking, they go off on fee 85 times a day to per one time that they'll say shit to anybody else from it, like the MCSC network. It's we're gonna get the tiny brown girl first. That's how they operate. Like, and that's Pat, and that's fucking Eon or the fucking Higgins, whatever his name is. It's that dude. You know, all of like the left's blue check male journalists live to attack women of color, Black men, progressives, white women wear Black dudes like a sweater. It's fucking gross. But it just, and these are the people who virtue signal the hardest and the loudest and pretend to care the most until it fucking matters. Everybody left? Oh, that's cute.
No, I didn't leave. I was just getting my coffee for a sec. But
damn, dude, I pissed off the entire fucking show host in like 2 minutes.
No, just getting my coffy situated.
I was like just high. And
did you think for a minute that they would block you like Pat and?
Well, they didn't block me. I'll put it that way.
No, they blocked Steve.
They blocked Steve, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I probably will be blocked eventually.
I have no idea who Pat's co-host is. I honestly didn't know she had a Twitter account until today, and I saw it on Marcus's thing. I thought it was just Pat. I thought maybe like she ran the show account. I don't know. At any rate, Pat's been on Slow News Day.
Wow, really?
I think he's the first like previous guest to have blocked me.
Wow.
I have a copy of his book that he signed in person in the old studio where we used to shoot the show back out on the porch. In fact, he did an episode with John Graziano and my now dead homie Jason Carney, like in person.
Mhm.
And he got hammered on like 4 hard ciders and spilled some of it on the book. Like, and now he blocked me on Twitter because he thinks that a cloth mask will do what CDC director Rachel Walensky says it won't, what Dr. Leanna Wynn says it won't, what the box says it won't, what the science says it won't, what Fauci says it won't, what every other country on the planet says it won't. But he thinks it'll do something that everybody else says it won't, so he's blocking people over that. And then the stance on convoy, position on mandates in general. In fact, he is so convinced that everybody is going to die.
Yeah, we're actually live.
That like, I don't know. I mean, he's really walking around treating people like it. He's walking around treating people like hundreds of thousands of people a day are dropping dead, and nobody's doing anything about it. He's like anybody who is anti-mandate is automatically some sort of villain who just wants everyone's grandmother to die, which is preposterous and just a bad, lazy argument.
I was gonna ask because I watched part of their commentary, and I commented.
Sorry.
Yes, I
don't
literally wasted
shit.
part of my lunch break watching, because I'm like, let's hear what I'm because you know me, Elle listens to, she punishes herself with World Economic Forum and listening to Jen Psaki all the time, and I punish myself with listening to Breaking Points on occasion. The Rising. Actually, I really do enjoy it when Kim Iverson is kind of serving up Ryan Graham. That is kind of entertainment. But I watch a handful of these people, and basically they showed one long clip of a guy saying a whole bunch of racist comments. Who he's allegedly one of the supporters or truckers involved, and then the rest of it was, well, why aren't they fighting for workers' rights, and why aren't they doing this, and and I'm like, because the whole point of this is against the mandates. It's not about compiling your fucking whatever leftist wish list. That's not what this is about. And then I also made the point. This is the tweet which she didn't respond to at that time. I said, this is the problem with most of the liberals or leftists or anybody in general. Do you know how the civil rights movement, how they were able to get through with some of their objectives? Because they took one thing at a time. They said, you know what? We want to be able to eat in the Woolsworth. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep boycotting Woolsworth until we can eat there. And then they were able to eat there. They succeeded. They said, you know what? We want to integrate the schools. We're going to focus on integrating the schools. They focused on that. They were able to get that accomplished. These people feel like, no, that strategy is just dumb. What we should really do is we need to work on whatever minimum wage increases, worker safety. We need to get maternity leave. We need to get this. We need to get that. We need to get this. We need to get that. We need to get all of these things all at once, or don't do anything at all. And if we have one person in there who disagrees with any of these things, then start dividing and kicking everybody out of the movement. That's how we're going to get ahead. That's the smartest way. I mean, so I pushed back. I was like, I would like to debate this. And I brought up the fact of, how many minorities as a whole are more affected by this. Most of the Black community, if there was not any mandates, there probably would be something like a 75% non-vaccinated rate. Now, a lot more have gotten vaccinated because they felt forced to, because they didn't have a damn choice. And just because a lot of white liberals and so-called white leftists are perfectly fine with the government forcing you to take an experimental drug, sorry if some of us are not. So, I mean, that's my thoughts. E, would you like to jump in on that at all?
Yeah, I didn't actually know what your fight was about, and in fact, I think I know the book that Steve is talking about because I also got a copy of it from him way in the early days before
Yeah,
he.
an inconvenient douche.
Yeah,
Well,
that book
here's the weird thing, man. Here's the weird thing. In like a 4-year period, the dude went from being a guy who parodied and did satire on Peter Dow, and now like Peter Dow is like
saw the lighter. So,
Pat sort of turned into Peter Dow. Peter Douche is now Peter Dow is Peter. Like it's this weird sort of
up is down, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
I noticed it. I'm cautious, but I don't.
He turned into his book caricature.
I'm sorry we left L out of the discussion. L, what's some of your thoughts on this,
bro?
Well, I actually engaged with this person. I forgot her name. Something Lee.
Leia. I think it's like Leia Charles Lee or something like that.
Yeah, and she had nothing, so I could just like tell you what occurred there. First, I saw your tweet, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is all about.
I want to know what your tweet was, L. I mean, I need to go back.
Look deep into it because.
Well, she had this tweet on his channel, his Twitter, and it said organizers behind the convoy are far-right actors and repub think tanks. You can't be responsible for all supporters, but you are responsible for your major funders. These organizers are not pro-union, pro-labor, or pro-worker safety. And I noticed that the name of their podcast here was Punch Up Pod, and I thought that was hilarious. So I said, quick question. Well, that comes into play. Hold on. I started with quick question. How many of the organizers of the convoy are bombing children overseas with impunity? And she responded almost immediately. Amazing. I'm assuming 0. I don't support that either. Not sure where you're going with this. I don't join forces with white supremacists or people who are explicitly anti-union. Then I responded, then you're not really punching up, are you? Maybe you should change the title of your podcast. People like me are focused on the predators in charge and the extension of policies that actually kill innocent people and authoritarian measures against the populace, actual Nazis. And she responded, the organizers of the convoy are anti-union, anti-worker, and white supremacists. What are you talking about? And then I responded, the people that brought us, allegedly, COVID-19, allegedly, and the vaccines, which are being forced on the public in many countries, are eugenicists. Bill Gates has funded most of the companies manufacturing them. Do you seriously think the organizers of the convoy are more dangerous than those people? And it was crickets after that. That was at 12:35 p.m. So I think I won.
Well,
I don't know how this
works. But that's what she did with me too, Elle, and thank you for saying allegedly. But she did the same thing too. She ghosted out, and then I sent a DM and said, "Yo, I'd like to come on you guys' show. I can debate, perspectives I feel you guys are missing." Crickets, nothing. And then once Steve puts out that tweet, and I retweet it, and then I put,
I put out that tweet yesterday, so we're clear.
Yeah,
he put out mine was today. And once I retweeted it, I mean, I got a response in maybe about 30 minutes or so. Right. And funny, I sent her the DM about, hey, I would like to debate you guys, talk about this, friendly chat. 2 days, you can't respond, and you say, oh, I have a family and I'm busy with my kids and blah 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 blah. But yet you can sit there and fucking shit post and shit retweet all damn day long, and all you had to do is say, hey, we can get back to you on that. That's a sentence. That doesn't take long to be able to do. So you use the excuse of, oh, I'm busy with this, and bullshit. We all know how this stuff goes. We all have booked shows before. And so when you try to tell somebody who does this also, who books shows, I know when somebody is ghosting me and not gonna fucking answer.
Run around, rope a dope.
I've been doing this for what, about 3 years now. I know when somebody's not gonna respond back, and it's pretty fucking obvious you had no intentions of responding. And she tried to put it off on at first. Oh, well, I had to get with my partner first, Pat, and ask him. Yeah, what happened is you might have asked him and he said, fuck no. And you decided just not to respond like a fucking coward. And here's another thing. If you have Black people and minorities sitting there telling you that they don't have a problem, they don't really, like, I don't give a shit if these people are fucking racist. I'm focusing on this one damn issue right now. I don't want the fucking mandates. Then once I can get over that, then I can deal with the next fucking hurdle. I don't know if you guys are into comedy too much, but I just finished watching fucking Vice Principals. Fucking hilarious if you have not seen it. Danny McBride kills me. Anyway, their plan is they fucking hate each other. But their goal is we get rid of this fucking principal first, and then we can fight about who's going to be the next principal. But first, handle this shit. That's my point of view. If there's an issue that we need to deal with, then we need to deal with that issue alone. Then we can move over to the other shit. I don't need them to be pro fucking worker. There's a whole bunch of other people out there who are fucking pro worker, and I can fucking organize with them.
Ending mandates is pro worker. That is a pro worker.
I meant to say pro union. Sorry, but yeah,
it's fucking.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Dude, no, it's frustrating because there's a bunch of fucking people who think they're goddamn communists who are walking around going, this is a workplace safety issue. Dude, you're listening to the edicts of management's management. Unquestioningly, and enforcing those edicts, no matter how little they have to do with the actual fucking science. How is that a pro-worker position?
No, oh yeah. Have you heard the new twist now? The new twist now is, it's obviously got to be some far right shit because Trudeau is already back down. What? When did he back down? All I've seen him do is try to double down more and more and more on these mandates. So, I mean,
I always find it particularly interesting that the convoys finally got national attention. Once you were able to put a negative slant on it, even though they were trying to happen all over the U.S. and Australia and numerous other places. It's fascinating that the one that really picked up steam all of a sudden has all of these problems with it. And now if they pop up everywhere else, that's the problem that the media seems to glorify on. It's an issue. And now a protest which is actually blocking and stopping things and actually choking off the veins of capitalism, which you guys say you hate. And an actual protest, a workers' movement, which you say you support, now when one comes up, you don't support it, and now you're supporting the government. It's the same thing with the big pharma. You guys have all these years that I've been in leftist circles, and
I'm talking about going back to before I was even doing content. Let's go back easily 15 years. Everybody on the so-called left has been bitching about Big Pharma and how you couldn't trust Big Pharma. Now, all of you motherfuckers are all sucking Big Pharma's dick and say, no, on this one, you got to trust them. You got to trust them on this time. And I'm like, do you guys not see your fucking hypocrisy that's going on here? I mean, I don't know. I digress. I could keep going on and on and on with these people.
Yeah,
and another thing, I get tired of a white person telling me that I need to be concerned about a white supremacist. Trust me, I know who I need to be worried about and when I need to be fucking worried. I don't need a white person to tell me that, oh, these people are white supremacists. Well, here's something. Here's a newsflash. Besides a small percentage, I would say maybe, let's say 20% of white people, a good 80% of them are fucking white supremacists or racist to a fucking degree. A good majority. And if I was going to say, you know what, we can't do anything with anybody who has any racist views, how would I even fucking go to work? How would I do a lot of things? How would we go to grocery stores? How would we buy clothes? I mean, it's just, it's nonsensical, the shit that comes out of these people's fucking mouths, because you guys don't go through the experiences a lot of times that we go through. Now, it's great to have allies like Steve and Elle and Shadowban out there, and so many of our other friends out there. Shout out to Misty and Lucky and a lot of other people who are allies to us. But you know what? It's a lot of them that aren't our fucking allies. And that just has to be called out. I mean, and I know other commentators which can tell you they've heard fucking racist ass people on the left pretend they care so much about these race issues while saying fucking racist shit and racist jokes behind closed doors. So I mean, that's a whole nother fucking issue there.
That's like methinks you doth protest too much. That sort of thing where it's like you clutch your pearls over something, but then behind closed doors you're saying things that are even worse, and maybe doing things that are even worse than that. But I just wanted to say that, like my post had alluded to, there are people who are white supremacists, who are in charge of things, who are making all of our lives a living hell and bombing brown people at the moment, like right now, with impunity, no matter who it is. And it doesn't care. They don't care. These leftists or whatever the fuck, they're not even, if you're spouting shit you saw on the news, you're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Like you're getting MSM talking points. That's where you're going with. So these MSM talking point havers, they're worried about this when so much shit is going wrong all over the world that isn't even getting addressed in the press briefings. I watch a lot of them, and the press doesn't give two fucks about what happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Syria. It just went by. You know how quickly they fucking glossed over Syria and then went straight to Russia, of course. Like I said, like never brought it back up. No one ever brings it up. No one brings up Iraq. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. And so that's the shit that we should be talking about 24/7, is that there are war criminals committing these horrific crimes in our name with our money. Our tax dollars are going to this. And nobody seems to give a shit. And that's a position that everyone can get on board with and be against that and have common ground. And that's why it's not a thing. It's not bringing us together, because we're supposed to be divided. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of putting race on everything, including this, and making people racist, taking a few people and then extrapolating it to a whole movement. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not something we should be falling for in the community. And if they are falling for it, then they're not in the community, to be honest, that we are a part of trying to get change and trying to get people to know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to go on, audience. I'm sorry about my little mini rage mode I went into. But Steve, you got any thoughts you'd like to add?
Man,
Go ahead, let it fly. I let it
no,
fly.
dude, it did.
Nah,
Look,
I saw his thing earlier with the pasta. I don't know if he's got any more. He's
that
got
was
any-
yesterday. That was yesterday, and it was
Okay.
in the morning. And look, man, I'll be honest. I was artificially inflated with some Death Wish coffee. It was hype. I did just watch Izzy Adesanya retain his UFC belt. Somebody sent me a bootleg stream like in the middle of this, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot! I'm a fucking." And so that's where I've kind of been the last few minutes is watching that fight. But look, let me say this because it's insane to me how myopic, short-sighted. It's like the last 5 years gave the left in general an astigmatism, and they can only see everything through like an increasingly narrow little pinhole of light. And what's on the other side of it is fascism. And it doesn't matter what fascism actually is, because that's all they're ever going to see. And they're talking to a smaller and smaller room every day. And now that it's midterms and these guys have pinned their brand to obvious, proven losers with bad ideas that don't work, they might be feeling a little bit of that heat. And that's why they're lashing out more and more and more.
These cucks are talking about Bernie 2024. Now I don't know if them specifically, but I'm watching the people push for Bernie 2024. I'm like,
Could you be any more lost?
They need their hope. They need their hope. They need to keep hope alive, Marcus. They need to keep the grip going, the money flowing.
They didn't learn from hope and change the first time.
I mean, and I can even
their hope is dying.
I can even understand not learning from hope and change from Obama.
Right.
I can even get if you were a little bit slow on the 2016. I can even get if you were still a little bit stuck with Bernie 2020. But by the time that he fucking start falling on his own sword for fucking Biden, I mean, what do you need him to do? Do you need him to literally come out and say, excuse me, Americans, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to really fight for you. I mean, what do you need him to do at this point in time? There's been no fight out of this man. No fight, zero fight. And what he does is every now and then, when I guess these leftists out here start to realize how neutered they actually are, he'll come out on one damn bill and say, we got to push back. And then that goes for like one fucking news cycle. And then he goes right back into his fucking hole and shuts his mouth again. But you guys these people still out here believing there's going to be some kind of solution that we can find through the fucking Bernie Sanders, or we can find it through the MPP, or we can find it through DSA, or we can find it through the Green Party. Wake the fuck up, people. Never mind.
There's money in the grift, Marcus. There's money in the grift.
Well, and that's the other part. I try not to think that these people are grifters. But at a certain point, you have to start questioning. Either these people are really fucking stupid or they're grifters.
If you find yourself on the side of the people robbing or attempting to rob the Christian third-party payment processor fundraiser,
yep,
and censoring anyone and everyone with a different opinion than yours, maybe you're the bad guy.
Yep.
Maybe you are. I don't know. It's so fucking dumb, man. I can't. I don't. I guess I'm fortunate that I get to, the opportunity to do this on other shows because I hate doing it on my own show. I really do, but because it sounds like this, and it's so fucking frustrating.
But they need to hear it.
What they need, honestly, is to cut losses. Because there's been a significant financial investment on their part into this ideology and into this narrative. There's been a significant emotional investment, huge psychological investment into this. People genuinely believe that if you take something that doesn't slow or stop the spread of a virus that doesn't kill you, then you're going to somehow be safer, especially if you put on 2 masks that don't work. If that's the kind of logic that you're going into, it's gonna be rough sailing, man. I don't know what to say, dude. I don't know what to say other than there's only so much grace I can have. I'm really honestly, and I try to keep it as much as possible, but I do have my moments.
I am Fauci and I am Bernie. Yes.
Yes. Fauci equals Bernie.
My voices for Fauci and Bernie are pretty similar. My labs.
We're very similar. We have very similar voices.
I gotta
I mean, they're both Brooklyn. They're both Brooklyn, but one's Italian and one is very much not.
Yeah, and the weirdest thing about it, let's go. The syndicate was made up of these two groups. Let's just say that. I know Steve knows what I'm talking about. For those who didn't do your mob research like most of us, go back and look at it.
Well, I mean, you watch what is it? Oh God, what was the Lucky Luciano movie where they shot most of it from Lansky's perspective?
Shit, which one was that one? Because I know that you had the casino one.
No, it was which one was
not
Christian
the one with Bugsy.
Slater? Which one was Christian Slater?
Mobsters.
Mobsters.
Yeah.
I mean that's one, and it's a little bit fluffy, but it is
old though. It's really old though.
It's a decent story of the American crime syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, and I would tell people to here's one question fuck it, I'll just put it out there. I always wondered why damn near everybody else went down or died, and one guy managed to last out and stay pretty much untouched, not even close to being touched the whole time.
Well into the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know which mobster that was, he goes by the name of Meyer Lansky. I'll leave it at that.
Well, his reward, the way that I understand it, is that his reward for partnering with the FBI and starting the back channel connection to what would become the CIA and the mob, his reward was Vegas. And he got to go help set up some of the larger laundries and counting houses.
He let Benny Siegel do all the work.
Well, that was early on. But I mean, post 19.
Oh yeah. You're talking about later on once they got it.
Yeah, they gave him parts of Vegas from the mid 50s until he died.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of those properties are owned by the widow of Sheldon Adelson.
Yeah, you guys never wondered how that got
different footprints, but the Lansky properties from the 50s are all Adelson holdings now.
Another name.
We're gonna have to talk about this off cam one of these days, or maybe on Rockfin. Steve, go deep into this rabbit hole. But go on ahead, El.
Another name that people should know is Sidney Korshak. He was a big lawyer who was in with the mob like Flint and knew a lot of
Mossad
people going on.
assuredly.
Damn, Elle brought in
Yes.
the lawyer. Damn, good job, Elle.
Super mob.
Mossad assuredly. Yes.
Let me get the link and I'll put the PDF if I can find it because I found it once for Super Mob.
I've been ignoring most of the chat, but I'm going to respond to this. It says just the super. No, where is it? Rockfin won't pay you cash.
Right.
Ed, I have been doing this for 3 years. Has anybody in the audience ever seen me try to ask for cash for this? My show, we're not doing this for cash. We don't do this for cash. That I know that's hard for some of these other streamers to acknowledge or understand. But some of us aren't doing this to make a buck. I'm not knocking on anybody who this is their job, their career, their living. We need those people. But to throw that at this channel, that's the wrong angle to take, buddy. That is the wrong angle to take. Steve knows. Have I ever worried about cash with this?
No, dude, Rockfin's a trigger word for a handful of people, and that'll eventually go away. And there's like a million other platforms. And to be perfectly honest, I genuinely like Odyssey better. And if
you gotta teach me how to use
the
that.
bulk of our traffic was, we would push it harder, but it's not. And when we're self-hosted next month, and that's what we're pushing is the website, then half the people that get triggered by the word Rockfin will get triggered by the phrase slownewsdayshow.com. Slownewsdayshow.com. Slownewsdayshow.com.
I'm like, will this be better for you when we can talk on a platform where I don't have to worry about the screen being yanked down and the content will be able to stay up? Is that better for you, Ed?
No.
That's all I'm really saying.
Look, if you're not only on the DARPA platform, if you're not only on the preferred like NSA platform, then you're not trustworthy. In fact, if you don't share advertising revenue with Cenk Uygur, Rachel Maddow, and Rick, what's his name? Fucking Ruben. You're sus.
Rick Wilson.
You're sus. Sus.
I mean, dude. And we got it. Don't forget Sam Cedar too, right?
Yeah. That's what makes you reliable, Marcus, is only posting to the DARPA platform. Like, whatever, man. There's other platforms. Most of them are cooler.
I put it this way.
I will say this,
I started out on this
Rockfin legitimately like made it so a number of us ate last year and paid bills and put gas in our vehicles to go pick up our children from school and shit. Like, YouTube didn't do that. YouTube took away our ability to do that. They yanked that from us. So, I mean, it is what it is. And if somebody else is fucking, like, if there's an opportunity to take what we do and get fucking, what the fuck?
What are you?
Stop smoking crack, you fucking moron. Jesus,
you keep giving him
man, I know Joe Biden just gave out free crack pipes. I know this.
Giving him
but just because they're fucking available doesn't mean you have to take advantage of it and spend your whole fucking life in somebody else's chat, you fucking weirdo. Jesus Christ. You dumb fuck. You sad little bitch. Go away.
I'm like, where am I getting this? For one, the fact that you don't know what goes on between our conversations.
He's fucking on that Hunter Biden Act shit, dude. Who gives a fuck? What's your next topic?
He doesn't even know that we don't even. None of us fucking
He
interact
doesn't
with
care.
Jackson
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Reality doesn't factor into this shit. What's real isn't a part of any of this. It's
I doubt he's even heard of my
fantasy
channel.
from somebody who needs fucking help, dude.
I don't watch his channel. I don't watch his channel. I've watched him debate twice. I doubt he knows my channel. We're like completely different. We're like literal strangers. Have nothing to do. I don't even get why that even. It just says some fucking weird shit sometimes.
Right.
I don't know what he's talking about. But
you want to circle back, don't you, El?
Circle back to
yeah. You want to circle back
on that fucking
we can go. Diet. Since Ed has gave us the perfect segue, let's go into crack pipes and the whole Biden drug bill, because this dude is, I don't know what you're on, Ed.
Bro,
and you're on it every time you come in here.
Did you see the Washington Post article that was like, technically, they're not crack pipes because they're clean glass pipes.
They're glass stems, aren't they? Like, that's the word.
One of the, I think that there was an article, I don't know, I think it was the Post that used stems just because they know it's fucking like ancient street. But I don't,
yeah.
But I mean, that was our thumbnail. It was the Hands Across America logo with crack pipes in it, and it said Stems Across America.
It could be for meth, though, because
there's an
NIH article that I'm going to share in the private chat, if that's okay.
Or opium.
So I shared that in the private chat, if that's okay. So we could look at what NIH says about that. They have like actual information. This isn't even the only article about safer smoking kits, which is what they call it. Like, that's the name. Harm reduction is what they call this program.
Right.
And it's in many states. And
yeah, but I was wondering if
in California.
If we could like show something in the bill, like something that alludes to it at least, because I've heard the people say, "Oh, well, it doesn't say it in the bill."
Well, it doesn't say anything in the bill. That's the thing. I have it right here, and you can look it over. But like, it doesn't define the safer smoking, or whatever the fuck they call it, kit. Just says something about it and harm reduction. But yeah, safer smoking kits for methamphetamine consumption from 2020. And that's just one of a couple. I don't know. There's probably more than 2 articles in there about the safer smoking kits. And then in California, I know they have a program here. A law that is on this website, legislature.california.gov. And they also don't really define the safer smoking kit.
Yeah,
it's almost like they're trying to hide it. But in Denver, we can count on Denver because they're fucking batshit crazy. And they have a whole fucking downloadable resource area of their website. And you got to see this because it's insane, because this is what was popping up on Twitter this past week. I'm just throwing everything in there as you get to it. But the Denver one is in there now. Maybe just for your reference, to be honest. Like, you don't have to look at all of them on the screen. But the Denver one is pretty fucking crazy because it almost looks like a parody. That's the original, the bill that's in question with the grants and everything. And it just is not very clear on what these consist of. And I looked all through and I couldn't find any kind of words other than syringes, of course. They'll talk about the syringes all day, but the glass stems are not mentioned.
Well, but my thing is, okay, let's say let's devil's advocate, let's say that there is not glass pipes in there. You're still fucking giving out syringes.
Exactly. But nobody cares about the syringes. That's totally fine. And the
You're still
Vaseline and all of
You're
that.
still, I mean, you're still giving out syringes. I mean,
It's still for the purpose of keeping people from
What TV
overdosing
show
and keep
did
them
that?
on drugs and not get them off
What
drugs.
TV show did that?
well, and my thing is, I said, well, are they changing any laws for any of this so-called paraphernalia that might be distributed to these people? Because you can come up with some kind of a program or plan, but if you don't change the laws, how does that protect you from law enforcement coming after you for using said items? Let's see, is this the right one? Oh, it says COVID-19. That can't be the right one.
Yeah, the last one.
This one? No.
PDF.
Okay.
The last PDF. Yeah. This is insane. This I saw on Twitter and I couldn't believe it was true. Oh, wait. Actually, that wasn't it.
No, that's why I was like, it said something different. I was like, you sure you're sending it right?
Let me go back.
Okay.
Harm reduction. It's like safer smoking kits. All right, here it is. Hold on.
All right,
It's
yeah.
from harmreductionactioncenter.com from Denver. Good old Denver. We talked about Denver last week, guys. And the Denver airport coming at you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that one's just like, that would be a parody. It wouldn't be a legit thing that you would see from a government or a governmental resource or whatever in a specific city. And yet that's what it says. And you just have to see it to believe it because it's just insane. And this is what they were like using to prove something, but it's literally just Denver at that point. Chore boy, bobby pin, push stick. So the push sticks come in the...
Oh, well, at least they're nice. They're giving you lube, too.
I just learned what a chore boy was this week. I'd never heard it referred to.
I
as
never
that
knew either.
Chore boy
Guys,
holds
somebody
crack rock.
I felt like a fucking narc for a second. I'm like, I'm sorry, could you please explain this piece of drug paraphernalia?
I've never heard of a chore boy before. That's some new shit for me.
Chore
I'll
boy.
leave this in the chat. It's fun
And a bobby pin.
for you guys in the chat. Here you go.
Depending on
Joy.
stems and pipes, what it says here, depending on whether you're getting a kit for smoking meth or smoking crack, the contents will differ slightly. We include chore and stem for smoking crack and a bubble pipe for smoking meth. Keeping this smoking tool for yourself to prevent the risk of spreading bloodborne pathogens, or make sure to utilize the mouthpiece to avoid sharing. That's what I was hearing about through the bill, that it did talk about that stem in there in the bill.
Yeah, I have one with pictures from like the interior. I think this might be from Canada, but I can't tell. Interiorhealth.ca might be Canada. It wouldn't be California because that would be
Interior health. Okay, hold on.
That one's insane too because it has a list and it has photos of the paraphernalia. I did a lot of research, guys.
Yeah, I just want to be able to have stuff that we can cite to back, because I just want to say, declare, I don't doubt that there is ways where this is set up for people to be able to get crack pipes. I just want to be able to push back when we have assholes like Don Winslow, who will play the technicality in word games, say, well, it doesn't technically say this in here. And then you have the fucking shit-lib blue MAGA who will all turn and find a way to try to defend Biden. So I'm just trying to find, when we can have that gotcha card for when they try that bullshit. That's all.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that they're talking about hepatitis C and HIV and stuff in these kits, and that this kit is coming out now when it was like on the back burner for a long time, according to the bill.
2014.
Yeah.
This was
And
actually
so-
a program that they did in 2014.
And so, yeah, and so now there's this whole thing with the disease that is maybe causing some issues with HIV now. So it's interesting that we're seeing this, and at the same time, folks like Royal Fucktard, Prince, whichever one it is, Harry, saying everybody should get tested for HIV. It's funny that that's all kind of culminating at one moment, but that's all coincidence.
Testing is another one of those things that continues the mass formation. It's another thing that people can fixate on and be like, oh, well, we have to have tests. And if we have to have tests, that must mean that people are getting this thing. If people are getting this thing, I better get a shot in case I, come in contact with somebody who might have super AIDS that just spontaneously arose out of nowhere when they started shooting mRNA therapy into people. But I'm sure those things are unrelated.
They're not related at all.
Yeah. Correlation is not causation. That's what they tell us.
Yeah, this is from Forbes. I'll send that to you for proof so we don't get too fucked up.
Okay, we understand. No worries, Chris. We'll catch you later.
That's okay. Thanks for telling us, Variant.
We love you, Chris. Sleep well with Variant.
But yeah, I don't. At the same time that Moderna is rolling out a new mRNA product for heart complications.
Yes, that too.
They're
and no replies.
They're rolling out a therapeutic for AIDS, and then also Pfizer bought a CRISPR type gene editing facility. So
and
Pfizer,
they did the shingles, by the way, like a while
the
back.
shingles one.
Yeah.
One.
And
they
got a cannabis lab too. Pfizer did. Right as the study got re-released, showing that cannabinoids were effective in stopping viral replication of SARS cells. Yeah, Pfizer picked up a cannabis lab. At first, they shot down the University of Illinois study that was showing that, and then it got resurrected and redone just as Pfizer announces their new pickup.
Well, of course, you had to shoot it down just long enough for them to get into business. Wow, this cracks me up here. Says y'all don't give a fuck about us. For one, Ed, who is us? I care about the rest of my audience. When you act the way you do, I really don't give a damn about you. So you're right about you. I don't care about somebody who comes in my Discord and comes in my chat and just whines and bitches and moans about themselves all the damn time. Like you're the only fucking victim in the world. I don't care about that. So
everything's about me. It's a poverty contest. Everything's about me. How can I make free crack pipes about me?
I'm like, dude,
World
you
Economic
keep
Forum.
going.
How can I make that about me? How can I make Fauci about me?
Moderators.
How can I make this ad break about me?
Moderators, next time Ed says some stupid shit, bounce his ass the fuck out of here. And if he makes another one or comes in another chat, just keep bouncing his ass the fuck out of here. I'm tired of dealing with this fucking whiny ass shit. You talk about nobody is you act like nobody is doing shit for you. You act like Asian people are the fucking most oppressed people in the world. Did Biden not spend $10 million of trying to help the Asian community once like a handful of people got attacked, and yet you just had all of these black people who've been murdered by police and lynchings and all this shit like that, and he won't even fucking pass a bill? If you don't get your bitch ass out of here.
These are the most important neuroses. Your neuroses have to wait for my neuroses first.
I'm just so fucking tired of his whiny ass.
Someone asked about Moderna's stock performance, and yeah, they did well on the 11th, which was yesterday. So
Yeah,
whatever
well,
that-
and then Bankel, Stefan Bankel.
he deleted his
He deleted his social media.
Yeah, and then he, sold some
Dumped all his stock.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. Nothing to be concerned.
This is stuff that happens all the time when you're the CEO of the front company for DARPA.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular, guy shit.
Yeah. Oh, and he's a dick, according to like former employees and stuff.
I
like
fuck around, delete my social media, sell all my stock in the company that I'm the CEO of. This is how we do.
See,
Shadow,
I can tell you what Chris's problem is. He needs to quit. Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Yeah, exactly, Marxist. That's really interesting.
That has been happening as well.
We know it. You gotta, Chris. You gotta stop looking up bestiality porn. I'm telling you, man.
Come on.
You just gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. That's what's fucking up your computer. You gotta stop it. I know it's interesting.
The problem, I don't watch bestiality porn.
That's a problem.
I'm just putting it out there.
Actually, I think he told me that he was watching those dramas about people who were in love with inanimate objects, and he was watching the one about the lady who was in love with a roller coaster, and I guess it got a little too X-rated. You know what I'm talking about?
I saw PewDiePie did like a little review of that, so I saw it through PewDiePie.
Oh man, yeah, and I guess we got one more story to go into. It doesn't. I don't know how to go from laughing and joking to something which is kind of serious, and it's probably gonna get our blood pressure up just a little bit. Going ahead, Steve.
No, I'm good at this shit. So go ahead. What is it? I guarantee.
I want to go in. I want to deal with the subject about no-knock warrants and what just recently happened last weekend with Amir Locke. Who here is familiar or unfamiliar with it? If anybody's unfamiliar, let me know.
I know only part of it. Supposedly it went. I know that it went poorly, and then
say no more. I will show the clip, and then I want you to be the first one to react because I've watched a couple times, so I have some feelings about this. So
yeah, I've seen this thing way too many times.
Yeah, I've seen it way too many times, and I'm not even looking at this from a race issue. I'm just looking at this from this no-knock warrant shit. That's how I'm approaching this for right now. Oh shit, where's it at? Oh, there it is.
After a police SWAT team officer shot and killed a 22-year-old black man during a no-knock warrant raid on the apartment where he was staying. Tensions have been high in the city since the police killing of George Floyd, and with 3 former officers now on federal trial in that case, the governor is activating National Guard troops in case protests turn violent. Here's Jennifer Merrily of our CBS Minneapolis station, WCCO.
Amir Locke was asleep just before 7 a.m. Wednesday when a Minneapolis SWAT team entered the apartment with their guns drawn. In police body camera video, 22-year-old Locke is seen lying on the couch wrapped in a blanket. A gun is visible in Locke's hand just before officers opened fire, only about 9 seconds after entering the apartment.
Seen it happen. I've seen it happen too many times.
Today, Locke's parents are mourning their loss.
I should be able to tell my son that I love you, and he says I love you too.
The use of no-knock warrants came under fire in 2020 following the shooting death of Breonna Taylor by police in Kentucky. That prompted Minnesota legislators to tighten restrictions on the tactic to, quote, limit the likelihood of bad outcomes. In the years since the policy change, Minneapolis police say the number of no-knock raids dropped to 90 from a previous average of nearly 140 a year. Locke was not listed on the original search warrant and has no known connection to the crime.
Both a no-knock and a knock search warrant were obtained so that the SWAT team could assess the circumstances and make the best possible decision about entry.
Locke has no criminal record, and his family says Locke had a permit for the gun seen in the video.
He was executed by the MPD, and I want the police officer that murdered my son to be prosecuted and fired.
Several warrants were issued for what we now know as a homicide investigation out of nearby St. Paul. We're told Minneapolis police insisted on a no-knock warrant in order to help St. Paul police. Tonight, the Minneapolis mayor ordered a stop on all no-knock warrants. Nora?
Great reporting, Jennifer Merrily. Thank you. In Minneapolis tonight, there are calls for justice after a police SWAT.
So, Emmanuel, now that you know the situation, and hey, what's up, Brock? What do you think?
No knock warrants, no fault evictions. I mean, it's all a bunch of bullshit. And I'll tell you, I heard his name and I was like, if I look at it, I'm gonna get upset. And then they brought in like some kind of fake ass task force with like DeRay or whatever to come in and ease tension. I'm like, okay, you're just pissing me off. That's just fake ass bullshit all the way around. They ain't gonna get rid of no knock warrants. They're gonna make an example out of this one cop and fix fuck all about the rest of them. And we know it. We know it. We're gonna make an example out of this one cop and say, well, he's just this one dude. We're not all like that. The whole system's not bad. Fuck that. Fuck them. It gets to the point where there's so many of them, I can't even remember most of their names. That's how often the police do it, and the justice system helps, and the media perpetuates it. There's so many of them. So many. I didn't even remember this one because I'm just like, why? A part of me is like, why should I even take the time to even figure it out? Because in a month or a week or a day or an hour, there'll be another one. And then another one after that. So why? Why should I believe that America's going to fix any of it? They don't fucking care. They don't give a shit. They don't. That's why they're allowed to do it, because the elite need their thugs. They need their thugs with their guns and their badges and their warrants to carry out the little mission so they can be home, warm, safe at night, while the rest of us are locked up, fucked up, jammed up beyond recognition, while the media just makes them feel all better and warm inside. So I don't know what you say. What L?
They'll give you free drugs so you can destroy yourself. So that's great. They win either way.
That's so nice. It's so nice that they can that last year they can, America just makes everybody poor and homeless and rises inflation and gives tons of money to the rich and says, you know what? Economy's good. Everything's good. Look how good everything is.
For them. Yeah.
So, you want to talk about it? That's fine. I would love to hear your take on it. But you and I both know if it goes to court and he gets convicted, that's not going to change them. That's not going to stop the next cop from screwing us over. You know that. I know it too. Mm-hmm. You know that. You know that they'll just make an example of this cop, or they'll make an example of this white person, or they'll make an example of this politician saying, oh, we're not all like that. We're not all bad. It's the system that creates them, that allows them to be the monsters that they are, that continue to allow this to happen. So, crucify him. It ain't gonna stop him. I'm gonna stop the next monster from coming in and killing the next black person. Fuck that shit.
The ability to turn your head is the price that most people are willing to pay for silently funding the state's monopoly on violence.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is to it, man. You have a fuck ton of a population that by design has become very, very, very weak men. And when very, very, very weak men are confronted with fear, they will call on strong men to do their work for them. And if they perceive the police to be the strong men that they need to do the work for them, they're going to do that. And then they're going to immediately turn away. And they're going to pat themselves on the back for being responsible, but never once considering the consequences of what that responsibility may look like, may result in. If you, I don't know, man. We're in a period where we've been ruled by very, very weak men for a very long time.
Yep.
And that's going to come to an end. But the problem with that is when strong men take over for weak men, if there's not enough strong men around to keep that one in check, that one turns into a tyrant and the cycle perpetuates all over again.
Yep.
Well,
And then
oh no, go ahead.
I just wanted to finish with this is the stuff we're allowed to see. These are the incidents we're allowed to see. Like, how many of these situations happen and nobody gets it on the media and nobody gets any justice at all. And, not just this, but any kind of situation where it's absolutely insane. Like, there are, these are issues that should be common and bringing us together as a people at this time because of what we've seen with the truckers, not just the truckers, but like with police, being very, very wrong in various countries about the mandates and about exerting control over the population. Those incidents should bring people together and make it more of a common issue that, yes, there's too much control in this group of people who are not held accountable on the whole and are in a fucking fraternity. Let's just say they're in a fucking fraternity. They're not going to roll over on each other and like send out the bad eggs. They're going to keep them and make a shitty omelet that ends in bloodshed. So this is what happens when people are looking at certain situations differently when they could be looking at it and thinking about what they have in common with the other person that they're not so pleasant towards, and finding that common enemy and using their, hatred or whatever, like directing it at the system that puts us in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I guess I'll give what comes to mind of this is, I don't have to read the whole scripture, but just part of Job 9th chapter 24th verse. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is an earth which you can tell in every facet is given into the hand of wicked. We talked about, the stuff with the WEF. We've talked on this show about World Economic Forum. We've talked about eugenicists. We've talked about all of these different topics. We've constantly talked about all these different situations with police and with some of these race issues. And somebody brought up earlier, it's like, well, has this been happening to any other people, white people? Yes, this has. This no-knock warrants has killed more than just, so-called black people. But
So far, the only people in jail on pre-crime are white.
Yeah. I mean, the issue is this system. Now we've had CC Mank on here, which I'm gonna have an interview with CC coming up sometime soon to talk about more stuff with, like Elle mentioned, about that fraternity. You know, we're gonna go more into that because there's been updates on that. I know we were one of the first. I actually would say we were the first. I didn't hear anybody else talking about the whole stuff that was going on with the KCK police and all the scandals and the corruption and the prostitution ring and all that. And then Rock Nation got involved, Jay-Z's law firm group, and then it got a lot of buzz for a little bit. But there's more stuff going on. I mean, and I might even, if I can get her to come forward confidently, I mean, I know literal witnesses who are involved in this case. And so I have a degree of knowledge about some of these things. And the reason why I bring this up with this situation is because the same judges and lawyers and what do they call the defense attorneys, and all of these people are all tied in together. Just because you think the prosecutor's over here prosecuting and there's somebody over here, the public defender, who's on your side, or not. All these people are on the fucking same side. That's why all this shit keeps happening over and over and over. They're in a fucking apartment. It's not on the first floor. Even if it was on the first floor, you saying you can't put people outside the fucking window and then knock on the damn door? You really have to sneak in while somebody's sleeping and then be surprised when they turn around with a gun in their hands. A gun, which he had a permit for. Which, if there was anybody else, and I make this argument not from the audience, not for the panelists. I make this audience for some dumbass conservative, which I know will argue against this. If you had somebody busting in your door at 2, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, whenever, and you had your gun on your table or next to you, what the fuck would you do? You're going to grab that gun and turn to them, and more than likely you will get shot also. The problem is the procedures that are going on and the fact that there is no accountability for these procedures to keep going on. This is the same thing which Breonna Taylor got shot behind, and her boyfriend. This is the same damn thing. And they're making it as if they're getting ready to go into some fucking mob cartels residence, and he has fucking 30 hired gunmen in there or something. You're going in for petty shit. Like, this is part of why I never became a cop. Right after I got out of the military, because of my specialties and some of my trainings, I was recruited by many police force. Ironically enough, one of them LAPD out here where I am now. Once I start realizing that these SWAT teams, they're not going in there to some fucking armed compound of some kind of like terrorist cell to go shut down. Most of the time, they're breaking into a house of about 3 or 4 young men who are from the ages of like 16 to 22. One of them might have a 25, and the other one might have a baseball bat for about $2,000 worth of cocaine and maybe another couple hundred of fucking marijuana.
Oh, if you got 2 grand worth of cocaine, you at least got a Glock 17 or 2 lying around. Come on, man. I mean, them shits are like $200.
But sometimes I'm telling you,
allegedly. I'm sorry. Allegedly.
Yeah, but if you're coming in with a team of roughly 6 officers, all with fucking body armor on, and
all
you're
kitted
all
up, yeah,
all kitted up.
I'm not gonna hurt them. No, I understand. I do.
Why? And that's if it's even that situation. You're going to a residence where you know there's more than likely one fucking person in there, because what people don't realize is it's not like they just pop up like on TV. They normally have a fucking undercover who's been sitting there literally watching the movements in and out of this place. They know roughly how many people are in there. A lot of times they even know what weapons they have or don't have. They know they're walking into a house with about 3 people in there. One of them might be a wife. One might be the alleged perp. And maybe one friend might have came through. They know exactly who the fuck's in these houses. But yet they go in like they're about to face fucking MS-13 or some shit. Instead of just knocking on the fucking door. This isn't hard. This is why I said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Because you're a cowardly, wicked motherfucker that you got to sneak up on somebody for some shit like that. Because you're worried in the 1/1,000,000th of a chance that somebody might have a gun and they might be able to fire off at one fucking officer. This is ridiculous. The cowardice that goes on. Well, another thing, why can't you just let the person fucking walk out of the house and say, put your hands up? Every time I see these situations, it's a cop who feels like they need to handle this shit right at this exact moment. If somebody is pulling off from a scene, they can't just allow them to pull the fuck off and say, you know what, we know where they're fucking going. Just set up a barricade and stop that shit.
You're acting like they have military ROE and they don't. And I mean, I can understand, but
well, if me when I was fucking 18 years old, yeah, I had to fucking follow this shit, and you're telling me that people who are at the age of what my parents were don't have any fucking thinking, have no strategy, just walk in like this is fucking cowboy time over and over and over again, and there's no fucking accountability. I don't get why this is so hard. An 18-year-old can go and do this in fucking Afghanistan, but you guys can't walk into an apartment in Minneapolis when there's like 10 of you and figure this shit out without fucking killing somebody. I watch fucking British people literally handle these types of situations with people who have firearms sometimes and who have weapons, and they don't manage to fucking kill the people. What is wrong with fucking police in America? Are they all just that fucking cowardly and stupid? Is that what we're dealing with? Just a legion of fucking idiots? Cowardly fucking idiots?
There must be some desensitization going on like they do with the military nowadays. Like, everything's kind of computerized.
Well, military, you can't do that shit. There's no, you know how you're getting court-martialed and you will be convicted for doing that shit. You are not getting away with doing that shit. Now,
well, it was the rule of the day in Iraq. Like, Iraq was like, do whatever.
Well, no, that was
murder.
Private contractors were doing a lot of that shit.
Well, okay, I'll say the private contractors then, because that's
a lot of it. Because and the ones who did, like, think about what happened with in Guantanamo when that video got released on the torture shit that they were doing. Every one of those motherfuckers got in trouble for that shit. And they're not only in trouble in the military, once you get out, you are still fucked.
Remember though, that wasn't Gitmo, that was Abu Black site. Or that was Abu Ghraib, yeah.
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, but you don't get to do that shit in the military.
Unless you're a CIA director, then you get to do whatever you want.
But like I said, that's not military. That's when you're going into the MIC. They
when you run the black sites and then you end up a CIA director, I should say.
Because I'm telling you, there's times where we've almost got shot by fucking KBR and Blackwater and people like that because of how fucking ruthless and how reckless that they run around doing shit. And these are the same fucking people who go into these fucking SWAT teams sometimes. No, actually, a lot of these guys, they go into private security and then fucking start killing people around the world in other kind of ways, but that's a whole nother story. The military, you hold 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, because a lot of people don't realize the average age in the military is only like 22. 22-year-old is held to more accountability than 40-year-old men, because most of the SWAT teams, that's about the average age, like 35 to 40. I don't know. I mean, maybe I just am wrong about all this. Maybe, I don't know. Somebody else tell me. But this is just the fact that
Well, I
this
think
shit
a
just
lot of
keeps
it has to
happening
do with
over
the
and over and
training,
over.
though. I think a lot of it has to do with the training and the way that they view these subjects or whatever. I think that
Well,
can't
I
be
agree. I
dismissed, for sure.
agree. They're taught to, hey, fuck them. We got to make sure that we make it home every night, no
Which is
matter
kind of
what.
like the military when you think about it, is like that camaraderie of the brotherhood
But
against a common
but the-
enemy.
But the military, the difference is it's not about the camaraderie is an unspoken rule. We just, because we're going through the same thing. Our number one focus is that UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. That outranks everybody. That's what you realize in the military. It doesn't matter what rank you think you are. If you're found in violation of that, we don't have like some JAG officer who's going to be like, hey, yeah, man, I'll let you off. It's all good. That don't happen in the military. Whereas police officers, they have a judge who's going to be like, yeah, well, we'll let that go. Or we got a prosecutor. It's like, well, he probably would have killed somebody else. So let that shit slide. That's the difference. The military, there is not that kind of lack of accountability.
I'm just talking about the training in general, like not the justice part of it, but like
even I'm talking about
how
like
they look at things.
Well, even like the rules of engagement, like you have to establish, like even if you're in a battle situation, a war zone, and there's bullets and live fire going on, you cannot just decide to just start shooting at people. You have to establish that the fire is literally coming at you before you can engage. Whereas these fuckers just, I felt in danger, pop, 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 just shoot people. And that fucking flies. I see Jimmy in the house. Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy says, let me see, pull it up. Says, I went in the Navy at 26. I was the old timer. Exactly. Like I said, average age in the military is only like 22. But out of 83 that started, only 38 made it through boot camp and 25 made it to the fleet. Damn, you had a low amount. But of course, depending on what time you went through, it's a little harder, sometimes a little easier to get through. But you can't just go into the military and do, like, I put it this way. When I was on the ship and we were going through, this is during a really sticky time where we were going through areas where known terrorists were supposed to be. And we're locked and loaded in battle station guns, and I'm on my weapon. And we have people who we can see who have arms pointing them towards us. I still had to wait for my ordnance officer to give me the command to fire. Whereas any of these fucks can just decide, I feel in danger, let me just fucking let off. That's the difference. Your rules of engagement are drilled into your head on how you're supposed to proceed in. And the training with these guys is fucking different. It's go in, shoot anything that fucking moves. We can't do that. Also, you know how many times cops shoot fucking civilians? Because they just fucking shoot anything that moves? We have to establish without reasonable doubt that this is an assailant. This is a target. Can't just get away with just fucking popping off rounds at anybody you feel like.
And it goes even a little bit. You don't have to go into all of it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this is your security force, America. This is your security force. There's like 5 minutes left before it's the top of the hour. Real quick, my buddy Daryl, Black in the Empire.
Yeah.
Put a tweet out a little bit ago that was like something to the effect of like, wonder if anybody's gonna
admit they got the Dave Chappelle story wrong.
And that's a good one. I mean, and you know, shout out to Daryl out there. Hopefully one of these times we can get him on the show sometime soon. Love to have Daryl
Daryl's
on.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following him for some time, and you know, chit chatted with him, and then found out, you know, he checks out our content too. So you know, definitely want to get him on here eventually. But you know, yeah, I guess to wrap it up, because I can fucking vent about this shit all night long.
Hey, could
every time I see, oh, hold on, I'll give it to you in a second. Every time I see one of these situations, being the fact that I've taught training on these types of things, I'm like, they're doing that wrong. He's doing this wrong. He's doing that wrong. And I'm like, how in the fuck are these people all doing this shit wrongly? How is this the level of training that's going out into the field? But go on ahead, El. Or
circle back, right?
Yeah, I'm going to circle back to someone we haven't spoken about in a long time, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell and Bill Clinton. So I found an article on the Twitter from the Telegraph about them having a nice cozy weekend together at the Buckingham Palace with Kevin Spacey and the other guy. What was the other guy? Oh yeah, Prince Andrew. So she was leading him around apparently, and then that's when they got the infamous picture of Gillen and Kevin on the thrones. So that was kind of resurfaced, and I'm wondering like how many other like contextual pictures have not resurfaced yet that they're just sitting on like these different outlets.
Yeah, but I've already, like, I'm sorry to say, but I've kind of just written them off in my head because they're protected. I mean, they're fucking protected.
Clearly. I'm surprised they didn't give her COVID yet.
Well, they're going to find some way for her to be able to, either what they're going to do is they're going to keep having other things come up, and so she diminishes more and more and more out of the press. Or COVID's gonna come, some shit where their goal is, if we can just get people to stop talking about her, stop looking at her, then we'll just kind of give her a fucking small sentence. She'll do that and then be out. Or she'll just keep getting transferred around into the prison systems and fucking get lost. And they'll swear, oh yeah, she's at where, over here somewhere, and none of us gonna have a fucking clue that she's fucking out somewhere else, not in the prison anymore. Because believe it or not, that shit does happen. But yeah, it wouldn't let me bring that up, Bill.
Oh, this is from 2002, by the way.
Yeah, it was 2000. Yeah, but it says subscriber needed, blah 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 blah. So I can't pull it up.
Can you at least see the title of the article?
I'll see if it brings that up.
Trying to find it on the archive. How do I do this? Wayback Machine.
No.
I swear the Wayback Machine sucks now.
Yeah, everything wants to fucking be paid for it. So yeah, that's all that comes up. Start your free trial, and I'm not fucking paying. I'm not doing free trial on that shit.
Anyway, it probably is on Yahoo News, and I'll see if I can get a link there and put it in the chats. If I put it in the thing, the title. They knew each other well, blah, blah, blah. Prince Andrew picture with Ghislaine Maxwell in 2002.
Yeah, but all these... I mean, don't all of the rich Hollywood elites and politicians all know Ghislaine Maxwell and...
Well,
and
in here...
Didn't they all know Jeffrey Epstein?
They were saying that he had explained to the guests that this was his ex-girlfriend, which is new news, I guess, that Prince Andrew used to date her, which I could believe. And then she was like acting like she owned the place and like she knew everything, everywhere to go, and led everybody through the palace.
I was gonna say, Steve, you got any thoughts on the whole Ghislaine Maxwell stuff?
I mean, is it Prince Andrew's already getting thrown under the bus? Ghislaine Maxwell's already getting thrown under the bus. If there's a leak about this to people that they're already publicly discrediting, it means somebody else is doing something shadier that they don't want us to know about. And I don't know. So I mean, I don't know, dude. I get pretty fucking cynical about it because there are so many other names involved in this that never get brought up. And then you go like a step down at the victim level, and they all hate each other, and they're publicly fighting on Twitter. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Here, I want to ask you also this real quick, Steve. I'm going to read this off. What do you think about this? It says, honestly, we need to do Kumbaya and read the Carnation Revolution article together and do it over and over again like you take the censorship bear trap bait over and over again. Let's do it. I mean, he is all about this Carnation Revolution thing. I don't see the relevance to it, but what do you think?
If he can organize it, I'll promote it.
You know, so I'm like, I'll read it. Like Steve says, most of this stuff,
that sounds like convincing a lot of people to cast a spell. And if you can make it happen, dude, I'll fucking, I'll help you promote it.
I mean, we literally have people, like I mentioned earlier, there are people who still believe that Bernie Sanders is the way to go in this political system. We got people that are that fucking lost. I don't see how you think that this is going to be able to help them. Yep, that's what I was thinking right here.
I mean, look, man, I'm not trying to make light of it, and I love Will. I do. He's it's the same shit that everybody tells me, so I go and I do it. Organize it and put it together, and I'll help you promote it. Except for I'll actually help you promote it, because most people tell me that, and then I go do the thing, and they're like, I'm busy.
Oh, Kelly, we did mention Putin.
Ooh, you know what's funny? Is that there's that rant clip that Pasta put together from the morning show yesterday, and it's been up for like a day now. And finally, somebody chimed in, and they were like, "Vladimir Putin loves your content."
I love when people say that dumb shit.
I'm talking about.
Right, they say stuff like that.
We're talking about a Canadian protest, and the American left bougie fucking false elite idiots take on it. Has nothing to do with Russia, Vladimir Putin, the American electoral system. Just like, I'm more offended by the laziness of it than anything else.
Well, remember, everything that's counter democratic politics, or small d Democrats, it's Putin, of course. Any story outside of what the Democrats are talking about is all Putin. I mean,
Putin in the evening, Putin in the morning, Putin at summertime.
He's just doing the bidding of the WEF anyway, so why would the truckers be for the WEF or any of their young global leaders? That doesn't make any sense. He's up there.
No, dude. It's viewing it through such a narrow political lens that you have to make everything fit it. So anything that doesn't fit into a teeny tiny hole just doesn't get seen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if.
I bet you I won't cry, Carnation.
And you're reducing your sight while you're walking backwards, painting yourself into a corner. Like,
Ordinarily, it would be a neat trick of physics, except for in reality, it's sad.
I mean, I look at it like this, and this is addressing Carnation Revolution. If you know me, you know I believe in prophecy. Prophecy is going to be what prophecy is going to do, and there's not going to be any come together and fight and change it all. Now, I mean, other people can believe, you know, their own theories, and I don't reject anybody having their own thoughts. But as for me, I look at like somebody. I had kind of a discussion with somebody, and they're talking about, can we ever get to this egalitarian society, kind of like a utopia? And I'm like, no, fuck no, it's not going to happen. I mean, you would have to have everybody, for one, wake up to what the hell is going on.
Utopia means nowhere.
You'd have to have everybody wake up to what the hell's even going on.
Seriously, utopia means nowhere, no place, nowhere, doesn't exist.
Yeah, because it's a way to kind of mock you in the first place.
But man,
this perfect thing, which is nothing.
Man,
it's all about mocking you. We're not all going to come to the same agreement or same understanding on damn near anything. And then even if you could get everybody to the same, all the facts are the same. Then it's about, what do you do once you have all the facts the same? What do you do when a handful of people are literally pulling the strings on damn near everything, and you see their tentacles attached into every little thing that you can think of? What do you do with that? How do you fight that? How do you stop that? If nobody agrees that that's what the fuck is even going on, really. You still got people thinking that, well, I mean, if we could just get a third party together, we could do this and change everything. Our fucking elections are fucking bought and rigged. I mean, are we not getting that, people? I mean, these people have game planned this shit so many fucking decades ahead of where we are right now. Most of us just are reacting to the reality that we're in.
60 million mutualists under arms. We don't need a government.
Yeah, I mean,
just saying, just throwing it out there, just throwing it out there. I mean,
and I understand what it is. If you live in a society where you felt like you've had some pushback and been able to change things, you felt that way, then it's hard for you to accept that there ain't shit you can do now. But if you've been in the situation where there ain't shit you could do, then it's a little easier to understand there ain't shit you can do. I mean, I look at it like this. Just looking from the lens of the Black community. Did we have any power on actually stopping slavery? No. Did we even have any power on being enslaved? No. Did we have any power on actually getting better pay? No. Have we had any power on getting the police to stop fucking shooting us? No. Have we got justice for getting shot down by cops? No. If you've been look at Native Americans, let's go down that side of my family. Do they have any hope of getting into their land back or getting actual restitution for any of that
I
shit?
watched a
Real
fantastic
restitution?
video
No.
that Corey Morningstar sent me earlier this morning. An interview with a Canadian Indigenous elder who was like, whoa, we fucked up. We should have been a part of this whole convoy thing. We had a golden opportunity to turn this into a land back moment. And because we didn't want to be painted as right wingers or white supremacists, we didn't show up. And whoops, maybe there's still time. We should probably get on board this thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna dip out. We got a show in the morning.
Yeah, we're getting ready to shut it down. You guys got any last words E or L?
Hail
No,
Fauci. Go ahead.
no, I appreciate everybody being here.
Did you
Sorry.
say Hell
Thanks, guys.
Fauci? Wow. Hell Fauci. Wow. Good one. Good one, though. But yeah, Chris, I mean, not Chris. Chris has dipped out. And thanks for being here earlier, Chris. Steve, can you let everybody know where to find you at and what time to find you tomorrow?
Find me on Rockfin, rockfin.com/slow news day, and Odyssey, same thing, slow news day. 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast, Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. That is almost always now with Pasta Jardula. We get frequent drop-ins. John F. O'Donnell, formerly from Redacted Tonight, just about every Thursday. Sky/coin/shitpost daddy, dropping in quite a bit going forward. It's a really good time. And lots of information on it. So do that. We're working towards becoming entirely self-hosted. So going forward, it'll be the website, slownewsdayshow.com. Going forward, but for right now, we're Rockfin. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah.
Gotta start some shit, huh?
Yeah.
And thanks, El, for
Hey.
putting that. Thanks, El, for putting it in the chat. That way, anybody who catches this a little bit later on, you guys hop. Or if you're catching it early in the morning and you guys finish this up, hop literally straight over to Slow News Day. If you're on the West Coast, that is Pacific time, the times he mentioned. If you're on the East Coast, just fucking 3 hours later. Yeah, that. And more than likely, I'll be probably tweeting it out. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, make sure you'll see the link there to be able to hop over to it. So glad to have everybody here. Thanks, Manuel. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, El. And thank you so much, Steve, for dropping through. Thank you, everybody who came through. And oh yeah, El has a plug. Going ahead.
Last plug time. One gonna be on Ladies Night with Sabby Sebs and Lucky Burritos stream later on today on the East Coast. 5 p.m. No, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. We made it earlier. 4 p.m. tomorrow on my coast. And so please check that out. And also we're all going to be on on the 17th on Uncle Warren's show, Extra Bola.
The now suspended from Twitter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'll be
wasn't even on that long. How did that happen?
No, dude, here's the thing, man. You guys, not you guys, because you fucking know better. But those guys, they get all they argue with people in threads about things that they know get them mass reported.
Right.
And then they're like, I got mass reported.
And then check out the podcast at the end of the month coming up. Hopefully I'll have a good guest on. We'll see what happens.
Which, as you guys can see, like on one of my pages, I don't even hardly tweet anything. It's just literal retweets. I mean, and I have one where I kind of throw the sacrificial lamb out there. But I know which people I can have discussions with, and I know which ones are just jackasses that you can't deal with. But make sure you guys subscribe to Slow News Day on Rockfin and the whole MCSE network. Make sure you go over there and go check Jimmy Young out, him and Stevie. Make sure you check out Lucky Burrito also. And yeah, sorry, Choosy, I'm just a little cynical. That's all. I mean,
and Steve Cutler, who I believe is
live yeah, that's right, Steve.
Now.
If Steve is live right now, hop right over there and go check that out. I might put it on while I'm breaking down my set. And thank you all again. Oh, here we go. And there's Elle's that's Elle's Super Awkward Funcast .podbean.com. That way you can get her on there. And to all my friends and buddies out there, y'all have a good night. And Myra's mom, good luck to your Bengals.
Go Bengals. Joey B for the thing.
Looking like Joe Namath.